Everyone, call the public hearing and regular city council meeting of Tuesday, November the 9th to order. At this time, for those that wish to join council, if you would rise for our invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance. And ask that this back over our invocation, please.
Please, God, please. Most holy and everlasting Father, thou art God and God alone. Father, we first want to come to you today and tell you thank you. Thank you for your goodness, your kindness, and your tender love and mercies that are new to us every morning. Father, we pray that you continue to watch over the city of Hartsville and let us be mindful of the name Hartsville. And let us work together with common minds, common hearts for the good of all citizens in the city of Hartsville. We pray for protection over our fire, EMS, police, hospitals, and healthcare workers everywhere. Father, we just want to give your name glory, honor, and praise. And these and all the best in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. This time, the chair will entertain a motion to waive the reading and approve the minutes of October 12th, 2021 regular city council meeting.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item number 4 on our agenda, public comments. Madam Clerk.
We have no one signed up for public comment, sir.
All right. Item B on our agenda is proclamation, and at this time, I would ask for Mr. German if he would please come forward. We're going to do this a little bit different tonight, so if you want to actually come around up here, I'd ask my peers to please come join you. And let me introduce this gentleman. Your name is Jeremel?
Yes, sir.
Not Jeremel. Let me just push these down. This is y'all all scoot in this way.
Scoot in.
Come scoot in. So this is a proclamation for Mr. German. You're currently criminal justice major. Okay. And you're on the track team?
Yes, sir.
And while you were at a meet, you saved a gentleman's life? Woman's life, okay.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell everybody here, just so we'll all know, rather than me reading,
Okay.
I think it would be more fitting for you to tell us what all happened that day.
Most definitely. So, on the morning of our conference meeting, it was our last day of our conference meeting, and I woke up normally with my roommate as we were going to go for breakfast, to have a full stomach for the conference. So, as we were eating breakfast, I heard a man in distress come out of the room, and he started yelling for help, that someone wasn't breathing and she was unresponsive. I looked around to see if anybody was helping out. I didn't know exactly what was going on at first, so I didn't react at first, but he kept on pacing back and forth to the room and back to the front desk of the clerk. And so that's when I finally put my food down and I ran to him and I said, "Show me where she is." So he led me to the room, and as soon as he opened the door, the room was a complete mess. I knew from there and on it was a type of overdose, just from the scene that I was looking at, and I looked at him, and I could already tell by the marks and all on his arms. So before I even approached the situation, I looked under me and everything to see if there was any needles for me to be stepping on, which is probably one of the first rules of CPR that I learned in high school, just to assess the situation and see what's around you. So as I approached the woman, I asked him, what did she take, what was going on and all that. He didn't seem to respond to any of those questions. So I just continued to check carefully through the room while having my teammates behind me. As I approached the woman, I've noticed that she was very pale. Her fingertips was blue along with her toes. And I can tell she was like that for a while. She must have been asleep for a while, just like that. So the first thing I did, I checked throughout her body to see if there was any other injuries or anything else that I need to be aware of, which is another thing that I've learned from there on, I was pretty much on autopilot mode. I wasn't thinking. I was calling out to the woman. I presented my name to her, and I asked for consent if I could actually help. She was unresponsive, so I asked the man, well, obviously the woman, if I could help and have permission to help. He said yes. So that's when I continued to help, and I started performing chest compressions. And from there on out, she was in and out of her consciousness. I asked one of my teammates to call 911, as she did. And from there on out, they were guiding me on what to do until first responders arrived. So I carried her off the bed. I opened her mouth to see if there was any debris covering, any of the airways. I tried scooping it out with a napkin as much as I can, all of the saliva and whatnot. And as I kept on performing chest compressions, she was in and out of unconsciousness until first responders arrived. And from there on out, it was out of my hands. And after that, I wasn't really thinking. I kind of went back to go eat, and I really couldn't eat no more. Kind of just went to the bathroom. I started broke down and cried because it wasn't anything that I was expecting, especially on a conference meeting. So it was just a very big day, and it's just I just felt like I could have done more, but yeah.
Well, and I did not mention that you're at Coker University. Probably should have mentioned that. So that is pretty remarkable. Where did you go to high school?
Lawrence High School in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I hope that the person that taught you CPR gets that story, because that made a difference. That made an incredible difference. So we wanted to recognize you, and I'll just read the last part. In appreciation, we're proclaiming this day for Jeremiah German, for your heroic efforts, and to encourage other citizens to be as selfless and willing to help their neighbors as you were that day. So this is in recognition of your efforts, and we want you to accept this, not only on behalf of the college, but also on behalf of you and your teammates for that matter, that also helped. But we're certainly proud of you, and that's just pretty incredible. So if everybody will come gather in closely, squinch in, can you get everything?
Did you want to hurry and get one or you get it there?
Thank you. Mr. German?
I would like to ask for the city to send that to this high school.
The clerk will speak to you. Mr. German, I could see that Mr. Caldwell was sizing you up. Do you want to share with us what your 440 speed is?
My 440?
Well, just any speed of that matter. I could tell he was reliving glory days in his head. When we said track, he went, "Oh, I ran track." He doesn't look that fast. Glory days. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah. What year are you at the college? Or the university, rather? Sophomore?
I mean, he already got an A in case reporting. I mean, good job. That was perfect. I mean, he started the story out on the morning. The only thing you missed was the date.
Well, job well done. You're gonna do some department proud.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Somebody up here will write your first recommendations. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the manager's update.
Forgetting our
Motion to adjourn, is there a motion? Madam Clerk, the floor is yours, however so briefly.
I mean, the floor is yours every day. Let's be honest.
Thank you. It's my turn to do the departmental report, and waiting on Lauren to, there you go. First of all, the city clerk position in any municipality is required by state law, regardless of how small or what form of government. If we were under the mayor form of government, there still has to be a city clerk. Council manager form of government, there's a city clerk. Council, the other form of government. I forgot which one it is. But thank goodness we have the council manager form of government, and in this form of government, the city clerk is appointed by the manager instead of city council or the mayor.
Johnny just said, the point is that you don't need a council, but you need a clerk.
That's what state law says.
Yeah.
Okay. Historian, and I'm so proud to be the historian for the city of Hartsville, and any of you who would like to come look at these, touch these, look through these are the official preserved and restored minutes, ordinances, resolutions, notes, newspaper clippings, and everything for the city of Hartsville. City of Hartsville was chartered on December the 11th, 1891, so we have our 130th anniversary coming up, and we're so proud. But these go back to 1909. We do not have the records prior to that. We don't know what happened to them. They probably kept them in their homes back in those days. So a home could have caught on fire, somebody could have moved, and it was in the attic, the basement, who knows. But all we have is 1909 through the present. And these go through 1977. After that, they're on microfilm, and then after that, they're preserved digitally on our computers now. But this was a project from my heart, and talked to city manager and to Ms. Patty for having it happen this year. And this is the city's gift to the citizens of Hartsville on our 130th anniversary. These books you see in the back, excuse me, and this one right here that's holding this page down were the original books that held these documents, and you can tell they've been torn all apart to make these preserved. And the front sheet on this says that this was a project and what the project consists of, and it was dedicated to the mayor and council that we have here now. So thank you so much for all your support in that. But as the historian, I'm responsible for the city records from December 11th, 1891, even though I was not here then. I'm still responsible for those records. And I assist staff and public with historical information. FOIA is for the Freedom of Information Act, which ensures that you have access to public records. State law requires meeting notices, agendas, minutes, resolutions, ordinances, all the things I just talked about that we have here and we have preserved in an archive room. And meetings are by whatever form. Some people think it's just city council meeting, the elected officials, but it's not. It's boards, commissions, by any form, a city public meeting is exactly that, a public meeting, and agendas and notices and all that apply to those as well. Public Records Act, that's a state act that requires us to archive these records. There's records retention schedules that's recommended by the state archives, and we have adopted those. So by that records retention schedule, documents are created, documents are preserved, and documents can be destroyed. So it's based on what the life expectancy of usefulness is on those documents. But these that I've talked about tonight are permanent, as you can tell. We cannot get rid of these. We can't get rid of any hard copies, even if we do digitize them. So we maintain the archives room, which we have a really nice archives room that we developed several years ago, and records are contained there. This is 3 volumes of these restored records. There's 9 more in the archives room. It took 12 of these books to remove documents from these 3. Elections and appointments. That's very timely. We have elections, and we have 6 members of council elected by 6 districts, and the mayor is always elected at large. It's on a 4-year staggered term. This happens to be an election year for District 1, 3, and 5, and the mayor, as most of you know. And we had our election last Tuesday, and Districts 1, 3, and 5 elections have been finished, and we have a runoff for mayor, which will be this coming Tuesday. So if you are a citizen of Hartsville and you are a registered voter, please get out and vote. All the same precincts will be open, and since it's at large, all of them will be open, and your vote counts. Boards, commissions, and committees, those are volunteers that are appointed by city council, and we have to keep up with all those and their minutes and records as well. public servant. We provide public service. I like to say I provide it with integrity, patience, and a smile. It does take all of that. I appreciate all I have the pleasure to serve, regardless of whether you live in the city or not. If you come in asking a question or advice of the city, we like to be very helpful, and I love what I do. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, may I suggest that due to his advanced age, you might check with Councilman Andrews on those 1891 records?
Thank you, Mr. McGee.
Mr. Mayor.
He's a month older than I am.
Matt. You're that
Let
old.
the citizens know about our clerk's, her award that she won.
Madam, the floor is yours, please.
No, I want you to do it.
I can't remember the actual name of it, but it was essentially Clerk of the Year. But there's a title, what's it, there's a,
Professional achievement.
there you go. Yeah, which you probably should have won way before now and multiple times. So,
How many years of service?
How long have I been here? 41 years.
41.
I mean, we've got staples connected to
yeah,
I hate not getting much better than that.
You can't get over that, can you?
No,
it's really awesome.
I'm amazed.
All right, thank you, Madam. Mr. Manager,
Sir, I have a
floor is
very-
yours.
I think I have a very short manager update for you all. HPDC did meet this morning, and we are putting together a trip down to Habersham and Ion to look at some different cities, different codes. I was going to offer the HPDC certainly is going, but of course, the rest of the council is certainly invited. We're looking at November 30th. Sharon will be sending out a date to confirm that and with the itinerary of what we're going to be doing. We are looking at renting a van and all driving down together as a big happy family. So if you do want to come with us and drive, let us know. We need a head count. So I want you guys to do that. Sharon did mention the election. Of course, we did the election for the runoff on next week on the 16th. There's two candidates, Justin Evans and Casey Hancock. Of course, if you're a registered voter, please go out and vote. And next week, or next month for our next council meeting, that will be where the current Mayor Pennington hands over the gavel to the next incoming mayor. So we'll forward to seeing Mel and wishing him well on that wonderful day. So,
I was going to actually do it Tuesday.
so that's all I really have for tonight.
Mr. City Manager.
Yes,
May
ma'am.
I also mention one fact that when you say the city of Hartsville, we have to say within the city limits
Yes, ma'am.
of the city of Hartsville. Because people on the outskirts that still live in Hartsville, they get to the poll in the precinct and they just can't understand
No,
why
that's
they cannot
excellent.
vote.
The postal codes do not honor districts and boundaries of cities. They are their own masters. The best way, and this was a great example from a former mayor of mine in another city, if you look outside and you have a Hartsville trash can, you live in the city. And that's the best way to look at it. Now, for apartment goers and things like that, give us a call. Sharon will be glad to tell you if you live in the city or not. So, but please, if you do have any questions about anything going on, if anyone has any questions, you know someone has questions, please call us. We're happy to assist you and help you with that. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Mason.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. Item 6 on the agenda, moving into unfinished business, is a public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4425. The manager will publish.
Yes, sir. It's an ordinance amending the City of Hartsville Code by the addition of Chapter 2, Article 1, Division 2, Code of Conduct, Sections 2-2 through 2-30.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4425. This time, I'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4425, if you'd rise, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. And hearing that there are none, the chair will close the public hearing and entertain a motion to adopt.
Mr. Mayor, I so move that we approve ordinance 4425.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Items on the calendar will be received as information. Without objection, they stand approved. Does anything else have anything for this body or the good of the city in particular? Then hearing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Oh, 1 second. I did mean to, I'm sorry. invalidate that adjournment. I did want to recognize our previous councilwoman, Ms. Wanda James, is here this evening. And the student body president, SK, is here as well. SK, this is more your proclamation right here. You need to get on that. The clerk will help you get something typed and you can present it. But we appreciate everybody from Coker that came out tonight to support. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you all.